Hi. This is like my millionth time recording this because I don't know, I suck at talking and I got one done that was like all the way complete, but then I kept hearing my lip smacking and I'm like, I can't do that to people. I'm not gonna go into people's ear, you know? So I'm gonna try and do this again. And I'm gonna do it better than ever, you know? So anyways, hi. My name is Sam, or Elmea would even, or Lamau would even, or whatever the hell you want to call me, and you're watching Disney Channel. Just kidding, this isn't Disney Channel. If you actually believed me, I'm sorry. This is a YouTube video, and I lied. I'm so sorry I lied. Please forgive me. Oh my god, please forgive me. Today I am drawing Sara Chidouin from the game called Your Turn to Die. And if you don't know what Your Turn to Die is, it's like a visual novel puzzle game that is centered around the main character, Sara, who gets kidnapped and thrown into a killing game. Many people will lead you to believe that Your Turn to Die is a lot like Danganronpa, but they're wrong. It's not. It's better, in my opinion. I like Your Turn to Die more than Dangan. Simply because I like the way the characters are portrayed more, and I like the designs more, and I like the plot more. Dangan is a really fun series with a lot of different characters, and it's very it really sells me on its wow factor. Like, Dangan is the only game I can think of where people turn into butter or get shot into the sky with a needle or get run over by a pack of animals like hamsters and stuff, you know? Like, Dangan it's very wow. It's crazy. It's funny, it's weird, and I think that's why I like Dangan so much. And all the characters are really fun and weird and crazy and zany and stuff like that. But I really dislike a lot of things about Dangan, and it's one of my favorite games ever, so I'm allowed to say this, and it's my opinion, so I'm allowed to say this. But I think Dangan really struggles a lot with character arcs and like killer motives and stuff like that, and like it has a lot of weird plot. Like, at what point does the crazy plot point become ridiculous? At some points, you know? I think you can have a crazy, zany game that's not ridiculous, you know? And I think Dangan often crosses the line of crazy to ridiculous a lot. So that's like my main problem with it. Plus, I think it's like way too sexy. All the girls wear skirts. Like, I think out of like the 40 plus girls in Dangan, only one of them wears shorts or pants of any kind, and that's Asahina. And I think that's ridiculous. So I kind of wish they went a little more diverse with the character designs and stuff like that. And one of the main problems I think with Dangan is that I really only like one or two, maybe 3 or 4 characters from each game. When there's like 12 characters plus Monokuma and maybe a side character that Monokuma hangs out with, like Monami or the Monocubs. And I think that's a problem. I don't know. I think I should be attached to every character in a killing game, and that's why I really like Your Turn to Die. Because I really like every character. There's about, I think the game starts out with, 10 characters? 12 characters? I think it starts out with 10, but there's a bunch of side characters that you don't really get attached to because they're not in the story. But the main characters, the main cast, you really like everyone. Like, I really like everyone in Your Turn to Die. I think the character designs are really cool too. I really like how bright and colorful the color palette is. I think Your Turn to Die is kind of mysterious and also very surreal like Dangan, but not to the same extent, you know? Like, I don't think it would be very realistic to have anyone turn into butter in Your Turn to Die, but there is moments where it's like, I won't spoil anything because I really think you should play the game, but there are moments where it's very surreal, or very, crazy, you know? But it's not the same as Dangan, not to the same extent. The gameplay is very different from Dangan. It is also a visual novel, but there's way more mini games and way more player interaction than in Dangan, and I really appreciate that. The really only character interaction or like player interaction you get in Dangan is in the class trials, and that makes up like, I want to say a third of the game. I think the trials make up a third of the game, and then it's like an investigation makes up a third of the game, and then the free time makes up a third of the game. You know, like everything in between the trials is a third of the game. Whereas with Your Turn to Die, there's puzzles throughout the game. There's mini games that you have to play. There's like I don't want to say mini trials, but mini tests that you have to do throughout the game to survive, you know? And I think that's really fun. I think that keeps the game really fast-paced and fun. Whereas with Dangan, sometimes you're like dredging through the free time just to get to a murder, you know? So yeah. I didn't mean to go on like a 5-minute tangent about why I like Your Turn to Die more than Dangan, even though they're both some of my favorite games ever. But you know, it happens. Whatever. I got really passionate about that. I still have a lot more to say. I think even though Your Turn to Die and Danganronpa have a lot of similar characters, like Sao and Oma, and I think Joe and Kaede have a lot in common, or Sara and Shuichi, but they're a lot different too. I think the characterization for Sao is a lot better than Oma, because Sao is a very good foil in the story with, like, I don't know, he seems very realistic, and at points where it's like we could team up together and try and escape, they do, you know? They team up together even though they don't like each other. It's like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, I guess. So, you know, team up and try and escape, you know? Even if we don't like each other. Whereas Oma, I feel like even in the opportunity to team up with everyone and escape, I feel like Oma would not, you know? He's not really a team player at all. Even in a life and death situation, you know? He's always going to be the lone wolf. And I just think, I don't know, that's a little unrealistic. There's gotta be times when you team up with people, you know? And I love Oma with my whole heart, you know? He's one of my favorite characters of all time, but I think Sao is better. I think Oma Kokichi walked so Sao Hiyori could run. Yeah, that's my hot take. Which I don't know if anybody understands. Anyways, let's talk about something else for people who don't care about my opinions. I'll talk about the drawing, I guess, since people might want to know about that. I struggled a lot with this drawing. As you probably saw earlier, I didn't really know what to do with the background. I'm sure at this point I'm probably working on the background, but I had a couple of ideas, like a blood splatter illustration, or maybe the logo, or maybe hands reaching out to Sara, in the hands of all the people who died so far. I had a couple of ideas, but I I don't know, none of them really sticked very well, so I went with an actual background, and I think it looks okay, you know? I think I would have really liked it better if I came up with that staircase idea way earlier into the drawing, where like I can probably blend the colors a little more, and everything could look a little more cohesive. But I think Sara kind of looks a little out of place in the drawing, and that's okay. You know, the drawing can't be perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect drawing. But yeah, I think it's good. I think it's an okay drawing. I definitely don't think it's a waste of time. I'm pretty happy with the outcome. And I went a little crazy on Sara's design. I made a couple things different just cause I felt like it, and it's my drawing and I can do whatever the hell I want. But I decided I wanted to give Sara like earrings and pantyhose, and I changed up her shoes a lot just because I wanted to. It's my drawing and I can do whatever I want, and I think Sara looks really good. Sara is probably my favorite part of the drawing. I'm really happy with the pose and the hair, and I think the shirt looks really good. The face looks good, but that's just because I draw that face all the time because I suffer from same face syndrome, but you know, that's okay. Every artist has their flaws, and my flaw is that I can only draw characters at a 3/4 angle. But yeah, I enjoyed this drawing. I enjoyed drawing Sara. Her hair is so weird and so fun to draw. If you've never drawn Sara before and you've thought about drawing her, I really highly suggest that you give it a try because it's hard. It's a hard hairstyle to draw. It's got a bunch of different lengths and stuff, and it's really hard to make it look natural or effortless, I guess is a word that is really, it's like kind of hard to make her hair look effortless. So I think I did an okay job. I love her bangs. They're so weird. Like, wow. And the braid on the side of her hair. I don't know. Her hair makes no sense, and I adore it. I'd like to think that she did it herself in a bathroom at 2 a.m. because that's what it looks like to me. I went with white shoes instead of brown shoes on her because I think it would just tie in the color palette a lot more. And I can't ramble anymore because 13 minutes is almost up. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you liked this video. I hope you have a nice day. I hope you have a good Friday the 13th if you're watching it on Friday the 13th because that's the day I recorded this. Anyways, like this video if you want to, subscribe if you want to, comment if you want to. I'm not going to force you to because I love you and your choice. Okay, anything else I should say? Oh, maybe gay rights. Okay, that's it. Bye.